Picture this. Two people, same job, same salary, same LinkedIn bio that says digital nomad/entrepreneur. You know the type. One moves to Dubai. Penthouse views, Lamborghinis in the parking lot, brunches that cost more than a flight to Bali. The other moves to Kuala Lumpur. Rooftop pool, city skyline, street food that'll make you question every restaurant you've ever paid too much for. 5 years later, the guy in Kuala Lumpur is richer, and nobody's talking about it. So today, we are. Here's what's actually happening right now. The world is in the middle of a silent migration of wealth. Not the dramatic kind you see in the news, not refugees, not wars. This is something stranger. Doctors, tech founders, remote workers, retirees, people with options are quietly picking up and leaving the expensive cities everyone told them they had to live in. And two cities have emerged as the frontrunners in this new global competition for human capital. Dubai, the crown jewel of the UAE. Zero income tax. Supercars. Glass towers that scrape clouds. A city that was literally desert 40 years ago and somehow became the most Instagrammed skyline on earth. And Kuala Lumpur, the quietly confident capital of Malaysia. Affordable, multicultural, with food so good it should be illegal. And a cost of living so low, it almost feels like a glitch in the matrix. This isn't just a lifestyle debate. This is a geopolitical competition for the world's most mobile, most valuable humans. And the outcome will shape which cities and which countries win the 21st century economy. The stakes? Enormous. Let's break it down. Let's start where every honest conversation should start. Cold, hard math. A one-bedroom apartment in central Dubai. You're looking at roughly $2,500 to $4,000 a month in rent. And that number has been climbing. Dubai rents surged over 20% in recent years as a post-COVID expat flood hit the city. The same apartment, same city views, same modern finishes, rooftop pool included. In central Kuala Lumpur, $500 to $900 a month. Let that breathe for a second. We're talking about the same expat lifestyle, the same Netflix, the same gym, the same co-working cafe with overpriced cold brew. Except in KL, you're spending 4 to 5 times less on housing alone. And it doesn't stop there. A meal at a nice restaurant in Dubai, $40 to $80 a head. In KL's hawker centers, which, by the way, are genuinely some of the best food on the planet, you're paying $2 to $5. Groceries, transport, healthcare, every single category tilts the same direction. The Economist Intelligence Unit consistently ranks KL as one of the most affordable major cities globally. Dubai? It's crept into the top tier of expensive cities, closer to London and Singapore than people want to admit. So why is everyone still talking about Dubai like it's the obvious choice? Great question. Keep watching. Here's the argument Dubai fans lead with every single time. Zero income tax, bro. And look, that's real. The UAE has no personal income tax. You earn $1 million, you keep $1 million. On paper, that sounds like the greatest deal in human history. But here's where things get complicated. No income tax doesn't mean no taxes. Dubai has a 5% VAT on almost everything. Property transaction fees, import duties, business licensing fees that can run into tens of thousands of dollars just to legally operate. And if you want to bring your family, school fees in Dubai are notoriously brutal. A decent international school runs $15,000 to $30,000 per child per year. Now compare that to Malaysia's MM2H program, Malaysia My Second Home. It's a long-term residency visa that lets foreigners live in Malaysia with remarkable stability. And while Malaysia does have income tax, here's the twist. Foreign-sourced income is tax-exempt. If you're a remote worker or investor earning from abroad, you're not paying Malaysian income tax on that money. Zero. Zip. Same result as Dubai, except your rent is 4 times cheaper. This is where the contradiction begins. Dubai built its brand on tax-free living, but the real cost of living there is quietly eating that advantage alive. Let's talk about something nobody says out loud at expat meetups. Dubai's luxury is real, but it's rented luxury. The Burj Khalifa photo, the desert safari, the yacht brunch. The New Year's fireworks that cost the GDP of a small nation. It's spectacular. Genuinely. Dubai is one of the most visually stunning cities on earth, and it absolutely delivers on spectacle. But here's the thing about spectacle, it's expensive to maintain. The Dubai expat lifestyle has a strange gravitational pull. You arrive. You see the Ferraris. You upgrade your apartment. You start doing the Friday brunches, $150 a head, all-inclusive, and suddenly it's just Tuesday behavior. Before you know it, your affordable tax-free life costs more than London. There's even a name for it among long-time expats, the Dubai trap. You move to save money. You end up spending more than you ever did at home. Kuala Lumpur operates differently. And this is what surprises most people who actually live there. KL gives you the luxury option without the luxury obligation. You can eat a $2 nasi lemak for breakfast and have cocktails at a rooftop bar overlooking the Petronas Towers that same evening for the price of one Dubai brunch. The city doesn't demand performance. It lets you choose your level. For a certain kind of person, the one playing the long game, that freedom is worth more than any penthouse view. Most people think about cost and taxes. Almost nobody talks about geography. And that's a mistake. Look at a map. Malaysia sits at the heart of Southeast Asia, one of the fastest-growing economic regions on Earth. Vietnam, Indonesia, Thailand, the Philippines, a combined market of 700 million people, many of them entering the middle class right now. From Kuala Lumpur, you can reach 8 countries in under 3 hours. Budget flights across Southeast Asia cost next to nothing, $30 to $80 for most routes. Want to work from Bali for a month? Chiang Mai? Saigon? KL is your hub. Dubai, to its credit, is also brilliantly positioned, sitting between Europe, Africa, and Asia. Emirates Airlines alone makes Dubai one of the most connected airports on Earth. If your business is global, if you're flying to London one week and Mumbai the next, Dubai genuinely wins on connectivity. But for the entrepreneur or investor whose focus is the Asian century, Malaysia isn't just cheaper, it's better positioned. The region's GDP is projected to double within 2 decades. And KL, increasingly, is where the deals get made. Now, let's have the uncomfortable conversation. Both countries have things to answer for. Dubai, and the UAE more broadly, is a monarchy. There's no democracy in the Western sense. The legal system is different. Labor protections, particularly for lower-income workers, have drawn serious international criticism. And culturally, there are rules about public behavior, about what you can say, about lifestyle choices, that some expats find restricting. Malaysia has its own complications. Political instability has been a recurring theme. The country went through 4 prime ministers in 4 years in the early 2020s. Corruption has been a structural issue, and certain social policies remain conservative. But here's what matters for most expats making this decision: day-to-day freedom. And by that measure, KL scores surprisingly well. It's a genuinely multicultural society, Malay, Chinese, Indian communities living alongside each other, with food, festivals, and culture colliding in ways that feel vibrant rather than forced. The expat community is large, welcoming, and diverse. English is widely spoken. The city functions. And Malaysia's legal system, based on British common law, gives most foreign residents a relatively familiar framework. Neither city is a utopia. But when people say Dubai feels transactional, like a city that wants your money more than your presence, and KL feels livable, like somewhere you could actually belong, they're describing something real. Here's what makes this story bigger than just 2 cities arguing over expats. This is happening everywhere. And the countries that figure it out fastest will win the decade. Portugal launched its golden visa and became the darling of European digital nomads until they partially walked it back under housing pressure. Thailand is aggressively courting remote workers with its long-term resident visa. Georgia, the country, not the state, became an unlikely tech hub almost overnight. Indonesia is pushing its digital nomad visa, targeting Bali's already enormous expat population. Everyone is playing this game now. Dubai understood it first and moved fastest, which is why it dominated the 2020 to 2023 wave of pandemic-era relocation. It built the infrastructure. It marketed brilliantly. It made bureaucracy fast, which is genuinely remarkable. But Malaysia is quietly upgrading its play. The MM2H program was revamped. Digital nomad visa discussions are ongoing. The government has explicitly stated that attracting high-income foreign talent is a national economic priority. The question isn't whether these cities are competing. They are. The question is, who's winning the next round? And here is the central paradox at the heart of all of this. Dubai is a city built on aspiration. It wants you to want it. The towers, the spectacle, the brand, it all says you've made it. And that psychological pull is extraordinarily powerful. Humans are irrational. We pay premiums for status. We choose the place that makes us feel successful, not necessarily the place that makes us successful. Malaysia, by contrast, is a city built on substance. It doesn't shout. It doesn't perform. The Petronas Towers are magnificent, but KL doesn't lead with them. It leads with value. And value, in a world obsessed with aesthetics, is a genuinely hard thing to market. Dubai's government built a city with the deliberate intention of attracting global wealth. Every policy, every regulation, every architectural decision feeds that goal. It's the most intentional city in modern history. Malaysia's government has been inconsistent. The MM2H program was tightened in 2021, requirements raised, minimum deposits increased, in a move that bewildered the expat community and sent applications plummeting. Then they walked some of it back. The mixed signals have cost Malaysia real momentum at exactly the wrong time. Dubai wins the first impression. KL wins the 5-year spreadsheet. And most people only ever look at the first impression. Step back. Look at the big picture. We are living through the great human capital migration. Remote work didn't start this, but it turbocharged it. For the first time in history, a significant and growing class of workers can genuinely choose where they live. And that choice, multiplied across millions of people, is rewriting the economic geography of the planet. Cities and countries that win this game gain tax revenue, consumer spending, talent, innovation, and cultural vitality. Cities that lose it face brain drain, declining dynamism, and the slow economic consequences of becoming expensive, but not essential. Malaysia winning this race doesn't just help Kuala Lumpur. It anchors Southeast Asia's legitimacy as a serious destination for global talent, which accelerates investment, which grows the region, which creates a genuinely multipolar world where economic opportunity isn't concentrated in 3 or 4 cities in the West. That's not a small thing. That's a rebalancing of global power. And it's happening through spreadsheets and visa applications, not armies and summits. So, what does this actually mean for you? If you're someone with location flexibility, remote worker, freelancer, small business owner, early retiree, this decision could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars over a decade. Not hypothetically, mathematically. Run the numbers. $2,000 a month in savings on rent alone, which is conservative, is $24,000 a year. Over 10 years, that's $240,000. Invested even modestly? That's the difference between financial freedom and financial pressure. But it's not just money. It's quality of life. It's waking up in a city with world-class food, a low cost of stress, a genuine community, warm weather, and easy access to some of the most beautiful places on Earth for less than you'd pay to live in a mediocre neighborhood in London or Sydney. And if you're someone who's never considered either place, consider this your introduction to a conversation that the world's most financially literate expats have been having quietly for years. The question was never, can I afford Dubai? The real question was always, can I afford not to think about this more carefully? So here's where we land. Scenario 1. Dubai continues to dominate. Malaysia fails to fix its bureaucratic inconsistencies, its mixed signals on expat policy chase away the talent it needs, and the global narrative stays locked. Dubai for wealth, Southeast Asia for backpackers. Dubai's early mover advantage compounds. The city attracts the next generation of the world's wealthiest and most mobile people. And Malaysia watches from the sidelines of a race it was built to win. Scenario 2. Malaysia gets serious. The government streamlines the MM2H. They launch a competitive digital nomad visa. They lean into what they already are, the most livable, most affordable, most culinarily gifted major city in Asia, and they market that truth aggressively. Slowly, then suddenly, the calculation shifts. The spreadsheet people find KL. The word spreads. And Kuala Lumpur becomes what it's always had the potential to be, the quiet capital of the Asian century. History isn't decided by geography. It's decided by decisions. Malaysia's government has a decision to make. And so, if you have a location to choose, so do you? So, I want to hear from you. If you had to choose tomorrow, Dubai or Kuala Lumpur, which city are you picking and why? Drop it in the comments. Make your case. I genuinely read these, and the debate on this one is going to be spicy. I already know it. If this video made you think differently about where money actually goes furthest in today's world, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach the people who need to see it. And if you're new here, welcome. We make the kind of geopolitical and economic content that the mainstream doesn't bother to explain properly. Subscribe, because the next video is going to be even bigger. See you there.